Hello, my name is Romy Phillips. If you haven't met me before, this is Romy. And we're going to do a little practice here in my living room, okay? So what you're going to need is, if you have a strap or a belt or a tie or something like that, a couple blocks, if you have them. If you don't have everything, don't worry. I mean, it's a process, right? So it's about slowly building a home studio over time, but just improvise with whatever you have. And maybe 2 blankets, or if you have pillows, that works as well. All right, so today's sequence is going to be leading us up to the balancing pose called Utthita Padangusthasana. So there's a lot of work with the hamstrings and the hips and the core. So the sequence is going to slowly build up to that. So we're going to start lying down on our backs first, okay? So start lying down on your back. Take 2 blocks and place them underneath your thighs, if you have them. The soles of the feet are pressed together in Utthita Padangusthasana. Palms facing up, fingers lightly spreading apart. Take a deep breath in, slowly exhale. Just feel yourself start to relax. The lower back is relaxing. The thighs are releasing towards your blocks. You're just gently opening our hips and releasing tension in the lower back, pelvis. So keeping your mouth closed, just inhale lightly through your nose. Moving the breath up into your chest. And exhale, soften and let go. And just a couple more times, feel your shoulder blades slide on your back and rest on the floor. The back of the shoulders are resting on the floor. Just begin to quiet down your thinking and your thoughts. Okay, now just leave the blocks, just move them slightly away from your hips and bring your knees to your chest. Hold onto your shins and pull the thighs down towards your chest. Good. Now from here, let's get place the strap on the right foot and then lie down again. All right. So right leg comes up, left leg is bent. Pushing through the ball of your foot. Just feel that you can gently open the back of your hamstrings. So if you have to, bend the knee is perfectly okay. Now, if your hamstrings are going okay, straighten out the left leg. This is Utthita Padangusthasana 1 and 2. Both is the strap or in the hands, and reach through your heel, spread your toes, and just feel yourself opening up at the back of your leg. The hamstring opens up. Keep reaching your heel up towards the ceiling. A couple of breaths here. Okay, now place both ends of the strap in the right hand, and your leg is going to come to the side, but we're going to move dynamically first. So I'm putting the block by my right hip. I'm opening and closing the leg, so my left hand is on top of my left thigh. This is your leg is up on the inhalation. Exhale, lower your leg to the side. Inhale up. Exhale over to the side. Keep your left hip down. Inhale up, lift up, push the ball of your foot. Exhale down. Now stay here and hold. The left hip, left heel, and left shoulder is resting on the floor. I'm just having my hand here, my left hand on my left pelvic bone, just to kind of ground and stabilize my body. Keep pushing through the ball of your foot and working from the inner thigh. Just breathe. So kind of getting like the left side of the ribcage to move down, the left side of your pelvis and your heel. Gonna bring the leg back up. And let's lower the leg to the floor and pause. Other side. Utthita Padangusthasana 1 and 2. So once again, we start with the right leg bent, left leg up. Straighten the right leg out, press your heel into the floor. Place the left block by the left hip. And something I didn't mention for the first side is if you repeat this, maybe you go back and review this video, I want you to feel that this left hip is drawing forward. So even here, you want to get the sense that the left side of the waist is lengthening to be equal with the right side, right? So try to create a sense of symmetry and balance as much as we can and bring that awareness as we lie on the floor here. Good. Now you're working from your hip. Your leg is coming over to the side. So release down. Notice how this block supports my outer hip and thigh. Inhale back up. So keep the right hand on your hip. Exhale over. Let your leg hover. Inhale back up. Exhale. Let the leg hover. Stay here. And just keep pushing through that left heel. Keep your right shoulder on the floor, right hip on the floor. Press into your heel, working from your hip. Keep breathing. And notice how there's a tendency for the right side of the body to want to lift up. Can I consciously press down on the key points of the right side? The right shoulder, the right hip, and the right heel. Just pressing down. And then slowly release and bring your leg back down to the floor. And just pause for a moment. Okay. Bring your knees to your chest and just feel your lower back just release. And then let's place the strap on both feet this time. So this time the strap is going to be placed on the heels and we push up through the heels. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, you might have to bend your knees, but can we play around with getting the heels over the hips, wherever you are? If your knees are bent, you may have to bend and bring your feet up. If you can straighten your legs, I want you to reach up through the back of your legs. Notice I'm really working through my toes. I'm spreading my toes. I'm pushing through the balls of my feet. There's a sense that I'm really working through the entire length of my leg, reaching out through the balls of the feet. Just push up through the heels. Stay here and freeze, and then feel it like the sacrum press gently against the floor. Shoulders are on the floor. And then lower your legs down. Okay. Now, move the blocks to the side away from you. Press your palms flat on the floor. Press your shoulder blades down. Back of the shoulders down. Reach your legs up towards the ceiling. Thighs pressing together. Press the balls of the feet. And we're just going to lower one leg down at a time. We're working alternate leg lifts 3 or 4 times. Lower the right leg down above the floor. Notice how I'm really pushing through the ball of the foot, lengthening my leg. Coming back up. Lower down, push, and come back up. Now, if this is hurting your back or your back is sensitive, you can always work with a bent knee, right? Holding on to the shin and working more of a modification, right? Or hands underneath your hips and working not so intensely. So let's just do a few more and modify if you have to. So slowly lower down, push through the ball of your foot, inhale, come back up. Slowly coming back, lower down, and leg back up. And then one more time, lower down, reaching through the balls of the feet, and come back up. And then lower down, let your leg hover above the floor, and come back up. Good, now bring your knees to your chest, and hold on to your shins, and then gently rock from side to side. Good. Now let's roll over onto our hands and knees. And we're going to come on to our, and just a little brief child's pose for a moment, Balasana. Toes together, knees apart. Move your hips back toward your heels and your head comes down. Just reach your fingers forward. Let your rib cage rest on your inner thighs. Press your palms into the floor. Firm your arms in. Breathe into the upper back. Come up onto your hands and knees. And let's just go a little down dog just to kind of move around a little bit, just shift our energy. This first down dog, I want you to open your feet as wide as the mat. Your pinky toes land on the edges of the mat. And you can bend your knees slightly and just shift your hips back. So you just get some space to work through the back of the legs, right? Bend your knees, lift your tailbone up, just press your palms into the floor. Good. Good, and then walk your feet into their hip width apart. And then bring your knees back to the floor. And let's come into a child's pose again. Just shift back. Fingers reaching forward and press your palms down. All right, let's come up. Downward facing dog to transition, and then walk our feet up to the top of the mat. So we'll work with down dog a little bit. Let's just open up the back of our legs. Come forward, Uttanasana, and then slowly rising up in Tadasana. Okay, so let's now get 2 blocks. The blocks are optional. I'm just demonstrating just to address different levels of people tuning in. So we're going to be doing some half sun salutations, all right? First thing we're going to do is stand in Tadasana. Collarbones wide, reach down through the feet, and the fingertips are reaching down towards the floor, all right? Inhale up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana, head down. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow forward. Press into your feet. Float your arms up. Inhale, look up at your hands. And hands down. All right. I'm just going to do this also without blocks. You can understand how this works without blocks as well, but feel free to use blocks. Inhale up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana, chest forward. Exhale, down. Press into your feet, float your arms up. Inhale, up. And hands down. One more time, half sun salutation. Inhale, up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up, all the way up, and hands down. All right, so now we're going to get to the floor in a tabletop position. Inhale, up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana. Just step back into a plank position and bring your knees to the floor for tabletop position. Okay, so the cradles of my wrists are lining up. Here I want to be aware of the navel lifting, the front ribs lifting, and as I root down to my palms, my front body lifts up and my chest extends forward. Notice how my tailbone releases back, okay? And I'm rooting down through my shins and the top of my feet. So alternate arm leg extension. So reach your left leg back. So the hips are neutral. The right hand is forward here. The fingers are resting on the floor. Start to lift the inner left thigh and the inner right arm. So notice how there's a tendency to put the weight in the wrist. Can I put my weight into my fingertips? Keep reaching through my foot and my fingertips, pulling my navel in. Good, now change sides. Other hand forward, lift up out of your shoulder and reach, lift your leg up. Keep pushing through your heel, arm up, and slowly come down. Let's do this again. Left leg back, right leg. Lift. Now move your arm to the side. See if you can lift up out of your shoulder. Come back, forward, and down. Right. So it's a little more challenging. We move the arm. Good. Now bring your leg back, arm to the front, and then turn, work from the shoulder, hand facing down towards the floor. Come back, and slowly release. Good. All right. Now from here, root down through your palms. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Shift your weight back and just come into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers. Take a couple of breaths here. Keep moving your shins and thighs back. Good. And then walk your feet up to your hands. Walk forward. And then slowly coming up and Tadasana. Okay. So now we're going to be doing down the sun salutations. Right, so we're just going to go back into Surya Namaskar A. The first vinyasa we'll be doing Cobra. Okay, so starting in Tadasana, inhale up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back into plank. Hold for a moment. Notice how I'm holding this plank, lifting my belly, firming my thighs, pushing through the balls of my feet. Chest reaches forward. I shift slightly forward and coming all the way down to the floor for chaturanga. Move your fingers back behind your shoulders and point your toes. Bhujangasana, collarbones wide, draw your elbows in. Breathe into the upper back. Collarbones wide. This is the first vinyasa. We're just doing Bhujangasana to modify the first one. And then press back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stay here and hold several breaths. Each inhalation, exhalation is one complete cycle of breathing. Spread your toes, move your shins back. Hips up and back. Great, now walk your feet up to your hands. Ardha Uttanasana, exhale down. Press down to your feet, inhale up. And hands down. Surya Namaskar A, this time we'll do Cobra or Up Dog, it's up to you. Inhale up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana. Stepping back into plank. Chaturanga, notice how I shift forward, right? You can bring your knees to the floor if you have to. Chaturanga. Cobra. Hips are on the floor. Up dog. Hips are off the floor. Downward facing dog and hold. Inhaling and breathe. Start to feel your spine getting long with each inhalation. Softly exhaling. Inner thighs are moving back. And I'll look forward, step up. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana, exhale down. Slowly coming up, inhale, and hands down. One more time, Surya Namaskar A. One more time, inhale up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana. Chaturanga. Up dog, lift your chest, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold and breathe. So start to really root down through your palms and your feet as you exhale. There's that foundation in the hands and feet that helps us to push away from the floor of our arms, hips up. Front ribs lifting up. Good, now step up to the top of the mat. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale down. And slowly coming up. Inhale, lift. And hands down. Okay. Let's step out to the side now for a couple of standing poses before we do a couple Surya Namaskar. So stand in the middle of your mat. Open your legs wide, okay? Put a block behind each foot. Feet are parallel to the edges of the mat. All right, so my wrists are lining up over my ankles. My feet are parallel to the edges of the mat. Reach up to the crown of your head. Turn your left foot in, right leg turns out. All right, so it's heel to arch line with the feet. First standing pose is Trikonasana, triangle pose. So lengthen through the right side of your waist and bring your hand down to the block. The height should be proportional to your body so that, for example, we're not crunching in the sideways. We want to keep the length in the side of the waist. So adjust your block. And then the shoulder lines up over the wrist. Start with your left hand on your hip and just take your collarbones to widen. And then slowly reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then turn and look up towards your hand, only if your neck feels okay, but you want to keep both sides of your neck extending evenly, right? So stay here and just hold the pose and breathe. So start to put your mind through the different parts of the body, starting with your feet, or you're pressing down to the inner edge of your right foot, firming your thigh, drawing that right hip under. And as you draw the right hip under, you reach to the crown of your head, touching down to the outer edge of your left foot. Breathe, keep extending through both sides of your waist evenly. Good, slowly inhale, come up. Other side, right leg in, left leg turns out. Trikonasana, reach. Bring your hand down to the block on the left side behind your ankle. Now, if you don't have any blocks, you're welcome to place your hand on your ankle, right? Open your chest. So once again, start with your feet. Press down to the inner edge of your right foot. Firm your thigh. Continue to press down to the outer edge of the left foot. Right, so the grounding in the feet gives us stability to work a little bit deeper into the pose. Reach to the crown of your head. Just open your chest. Arm is reaching up. Collarbones are wide. Stay here and keep breathing. Inhale, reach to the crown of your head. Exhale, pushing down to the feet. Good, and then slowly inhale, come up. Keep your feet apart. Turn your left foot in, right leg turns out. Bend your right leg this time. The knee is over your heel. We're coming into Parsvakonasana. Just so notice how the block again is by my ankle, chest opens. Now left arm reaches out over your head. Press your thigh against your arm. Draw the right hip under and keep reaching to the left hand. Inhale up. Other side. Right leg turns in. Left leg turns out. Parsvakonasana. Bring your hand down behind your ankle. Right arm extends out over your head. So notice if I really push down to the outer edge of my right foot, I can reach a little bit longer on the right side of the waist, right? So this is that. Rounding down to the right side of the foot and lengthen to the entire right side of my body. Inhale, slowly come up, straighten your left leg, turn your left foot in, and step your feet together. Good, now stand in Tadasana for just a moment and pause. Okay, so let's come to the top of our mats. Place your blocks to the side. We will use them in a moment. Okay. So, get your two blocks. Place them here. Now, before we go into, we're going to repeat this pose after we do sun salutations again, but let's just do a Parsvakonasana prep. So I'm standing in between my blocks in Tadasana. Hands on my hips. Step your left foot back. Your left toes are pointing towards the left-hand corner of your mat. The whole idea is that we want the pelvis to be neutral, the inner left thighs to move back, right? Inhale, lift up, reach out through your spine, place your hands on the blocks. Now press down to the inner edge of your right foot and draw that right hip back, right? So it's like this hip is drawing back. Think about your Utthita Padangusthasana, same idea. Now chest reaches forward and lengthen. We want to avoid locking this right knee. So you do want to firm the thigh and lift the kneecap. If you're bending your legs slightly because your hamstrings are tight, that's perfectly okay. But just keep breathing into the back of the legs. This is going to be helpful later when we do Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Okay? Good. Now place your hands on your hips. Inhale, lift up. Step up with the left foot, and let's step back with the right foot. Good. Now find that the right toes are facing upper right hand corner of your mat. Draw your left hip back, inner right thigh moves back. Parsvakonasana. Reach forward. Place your hands on the blocks. Once again, notice how my left hip reaches back and lengthens. The left side of my waist is even with the right side. I'm trying to find that symmetry. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Keep pushing down to the outer edge of your right foot and firm your thighs. Couple more breaths here. Good. Now press down to your feet, hands on your hips. Inhale, lift up and step up with the right foot. Hands down, Tadasana. So moving my blocks for just a moment. Namaskar. We're just doing this a couple times just to build a little heat. So Utthita, arms up, weighting your heels up. If your shoulders are feeling okay, you can bring your palms together. Otherwise, keep your shoulders apart. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthening, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank. Chaturanga. You come to the floor if you want. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, up dog, and downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Bring your foot all the way between your hands. Left foot down. Firm your right hip in. Virabhadrasana 1. Arms up. Stay here for a moment. So see if you can get your hands together. Otherwise, hands apart. Lower down. Chaturanga. Exhale as you lower down. Inhale up. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1. Press into your heel, arms up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower down. Chaturanga, elbows in. Up dog, lift your chest. And downward facing dog. Hold here. 5 complete inhalations and exhalations. So just have a moment to pause, slow down your breathing. Rooting down through your palms, thumbs, index fingers. Firm your triceps in. Good, now step or hop up. If you want to do a little hop, that's fine. Inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale down. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, lift up. And press up to standing. Let's do that once again, okay? Chair pose, Utkatasana. Bow forward, Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, extend your spine. Step back to plank. Gazing forward now. Notice how I'm gazing forward as you lower down Chaturanga. Up dog, lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1. Palms touch. Lower down. Chaturanga. Take your time and come to the floor if you have to. Up dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale. And then left foot forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Take your time, moving slowly. Exhale, lower down. Chaturanga. Collarbones wide, elbows in. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Stay here and hold 5 breaths. Inhaling. Exhale. Thighs back. Inhale. 2. Lift your tailbone up. 3. Front moves in. 4. And 5. Good. Now inhale, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale down. Coming into Utkatasana. Arms up. And press up to standing Tadasana. Take a breath here. Okay. Let's now go back to a standing pose. Parsvottanasana into Parivrtta Trikonasana. So you may need blocks, okay? So step back up to the top of the mat. Stand in between your blocks. Hands on your hips again. So this time, step your left foot back. Find a neutral pelvis again, right? So inner left thigh moves back, left toes facing the upper left-hand corner of your mat. So we come back to Parsvottanasana prep. Lengthen your spine, right? So adjust these blocks so that you can actually straighten the arms and lengthen your spine. I could go a little bit lower for my body, right? Keep weighting the inner edge of your right foot and draw that right hip back. Now your hand is either going to stay inside of the block, inside of your foot, or placed on the outside, right? It's important you can keep your hips neutral as you come into Utthita Padangusthasana, right? So we want to turn from the rib cage, right? So I'm just going to demonstrate, let's say on this side with my hand inside of my foot. Right hand on the hip. Now notice how my feet are really stable. I'm turning from the rib cage here. Open the right arm, open, open, open. Keep drawing the right hip back as I reach to the crown of the head and twist for Utthita Padangusthasana. Hold once you're here, breathe. Draw that right hip back. Keep reaching to the crown of your head. Press into that back foot and slowly release. Good. Hands on your hips, press down through your feet, rise up and step up. Let's do the other side. Right foot back, right toes turning towards the upper right hand corner of your mat. Inhale, exhale, bring your hands down to the blocks. On this side, I'm going to just demonstrate the pose as I move, let's say, my hand outside of my foot. Notice I'm still keeping the hips neutral. I'm working from the bottom ribs to twist, right? I'm reaching through the crown of my head. Hips are squared off. Arm lifts up. Revolve and hold. Keep drawing that left hip back as you reach to the crown of your head. Thighs firming, feet rooting down. And slowly release. Good. So, hands on your hips. Press down through your feet and rise up. Tadasana. Okay, so now we get into the segment on Utthita Padangusthasana. I'm going to practice a pose in the middle of the room, but if you need more balance, you're welcome to use the wall, or if you have a chair, you can use the edge of a chair. So the first variation in this is a prep for Utthita Padangusthasana. We're working with bent legs. So start in Tadasana. And we're just going to hold on to the right shin and pull up. Stamp your foot down and look up to the crown of your head. So pulling up on your right shin. Left hand on your hip. And I want you just to move your leg to the side. Notice that when I move my leg to the side, my pelvis stays in the same plane. It stays neutral in the same plane. I'm only working with the natural range of motion in my hips, so I'm not going beyond that. Otherwise, I lose my balance. So root down to your standing foot and lift up. Bring your leg back to center. Place the other hand on the hip. And see if you can just lift that leg up. So there's a little bit of lift from the lower abdominal muscles engaging. And then if you want to emphasize the strength in the abdominal wall here and improve just your sense of balance, lift your arms up and hold for a moment. Good, and then release. Now I'm going to turn to the side this time so you can see me working from the left side just a little bit. So my standing foot is in Tadasana. Left side, pull up on my standing leg, lift up. Notice how I'm reaching up to the crown of my head. I'm not leaning back, I'm lifting up. Right hand on my hip, move your leg to the side. Notice that I'm only going again, observing the natural range of motion in my hip, rooting down to my standing foot. Come back to center, hand on the hip, stay here lifting up. Reach out with your standing foot. So this is a little bit of strengthening core work here. Reach up, press your foot down, lift your thigh towards your chest. Good, and release. Okay, so now, Utthita Padangusthasana. Once again, you're welcome to have your hand on the wall or hand on a chair. I'm demonstrating in the middle of the room because I have more space this way. So the key is, I'll just turn to the side first so you can see what I'm doing. You have two choices. You can put a strap on your foot, hold on to the strap as close to your foot as possible. Start with your hand on your hip, and then straighten the leg out, right? And then we'll go slightly to the side and back. I'm just demonstrating really quickly, and then we'll do this together. Or hold on to your big toe, pull up on your standing foot, stamp your foot down, and then same thing, right? So if you hold on to the toe, that's where we're going with this pose, okay? So either use a strap or holding on to the big toe. So I'm just gonna stand this way, Tadasana. Hand on your hip, left hand on your hip. Reach down and place your fingers around your big toe or put a strap around the right foot. Right leg forward and hold. Notice how I'm really lifting up from the navel, reaching up to the crown of my head. Tadasana is the root of this pose. The leg is reaching forward. I'm breathing. Press to the ball of your foot. Good. Now move your legs slightly to the side. Keep your hips squared off, right? We did this lying down on our backs earlier. Come back to center and then let go and lower the leg down. So the more advanced version will be holding the legs up. We're just going to let the leg float down. Other side. Utthita Padangusthasana. Pull up on your standing leg, with your foot down. Reach your foot forward and lift up to the crown of your head. Stamp your foot down. And breathe. So here, what's helping me stay here is just I'm focusing on rooting together my standing foot. I'm mentally lined up through the midline of my body. There's Tadasana. I'm really engaging here, my core. Move the legs slightly to the side. Keep your pelvis squared off, working from your hip. You can look out over your right shoulder slightly if you can. And then come back to center and lower your leg to the floor. Oh, okay, good. All right, let's get to the floor. All right, so stand in Tadasana. And let's just do a vinyasa to get to the floor. Okay, just take a moment to pause. That's a very challenging balancing pose. Inhale up. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen Ardha Uttanasana. Let's just come into a child's pose for a moment. Let's come into a child's pose. Hips back, head down. Press your palms into the floor. Let your hips sink down towards your heels. Okay. So I'm just going to keep the back bend a little simple today. We're going to be doing a Shalabhasana variation that's kind of working towards Dhanurasana. Maybe that's an option for some of you, maybe not. I'm going to show even the modified version. So we're going to come onto our stomachs and lie down. Reach your fingers forward like this. Reach your hands forward. Your head is on the floor. Okay, now lift your head up just slightly. Keep your neck neutral. Bend your right leg and reach back and hold on to the right foot. Okay, notice how I'm just keeping the head neutral. I'm pressing my foot against my hand. The leg is doing the work. So I press my foot against my hand. I roll that right shoulder back. So I'm feeling the front of my thigh opening up, right? So this is, like I said, it's like half of a Dhanurasana, half of a bow pose. I press my left toes into the floor, left hand on the floor. So my knee comes off the floor and my elbow comes off the floor. So it's a little bit of engagement on my upper back. Gaze forward and hold. Keep pressing the right thigh and your right hip into the floor, your hand against your foot against your hand. My right arm is straight, my right shoulder is rolling back. Good, and then lower your leg and reach forward with the right hand. Other side. Bend your left leg. Reach back and hold on to the top of your foot. So this is going to release the top of our thighs a little bit. Get a little stretch in front of our thigh. Press your foot against your hand. Roll that left shoulder back. Press your right toes into the floor, knee off the floor. Right hand presses down like a little karate chop with the right hand. Lift your chest up. Press your pelvic bones into the floor and breathe. Good, and then come down. All right, let's do it one more time. One more variation here. Bend your right leg. Reach back and hold on to the right foot. Roll your right shoulder back. Press your foot into the floor, left hand into the floor. Press and lift. Now this time maybe your left toes come up and your left hand comes up. So a little bit more challenging. Keep the tension in the right foot and hand, and your left hand and left foot will float up. The head is neutral. Stay here and hold, right shoulder back, and slowly come down. Other side, bend your left leg, reach back. Same thing on the right this side. Left foot up, right hand up. Right foot up, right hand up. Now press your left foot against your hand, lift. Keep reaching through your fingertips. Roll your left shoulder back. Reach, and slowly come down and pause. Just bring your head to the floor. Now, this is optional. If you're able to reach back and hold on to both feet, you're free to do that. Otherwise, repeat one of what we just did, holding on to one foot at a time. So we're just going to do a very simple Dhanurasana here. Press your feet against your hands, shoulders back. Let your legs do the work. My shins are moving away from my hips. My chest is floating up. My arms are straight. Breathe and hold. Keep your frontal hip bones pressing into the floor. Chest lifting. And slowly release. Good, now turn your head, let your cheek rest on the floor, and your shoulders come down. Turn your head the other way, cheek on the floor. Good, now head center. Place your hands by your rib cage, and then just come back and just release your lower back. You can move around a little bit, and then ease yourself into a child's pose for a moment. In this child's pose, I want you to rest your hands back by your hips, or by your ankles, and your head is on the floor. Okay, so we're going to do a seated sequence just to wind down before we line our backs. So we do a few seated postures. So I want you to get a blanket, if you have one. If not, you may use a pillow if you like. Just from the side, I'll show you. I want you to sit in Dandasana with your lower back lifting, your hands by your hips, shoulders back. So this length in the lumbar spine. And I'm just going to turn slightly at an angle so you can see what I'm doing, or maybe I'll turn to the front. I'll turn towards you. It'll be easier. So it's my right leg first. All right, so my thigh's off the floor. I'm going to put a block here just to protect my knee. All right, so some of you may need a strap. Jana Shirshasana. Place the strap on your ankle so your thigh is pressing down, right? Reaching forward, so walk your hands forward. If you can hold on to your foot, fine. Otherwise, hands on the strap, or hold on to the foot. Press your thigh down and moving your chest towards your knees. Like let your head reach forward and keep pressing your right thigh down. Stay here and breathe for a few breaths. Working from your hip. Then inhale, lengthen your spine, and slowly coming up. Let's do the other side. Jana Shirshasana. Bring your foot in. Now, if your thigh comes to the floor, that's even okay. So either block underneath your thigh or on the floor. strap around the foot if you need one. Inhale, lengthen, reach forward, and let your head come towards your shin. Breathing as you exhale. Press into your sit bones. Press your calf down, your thighs. And inhale, lengthen, and slowly coming up. Okay. Straighten out your legs, Dandasana. All right, so Utthita open your legs wide. Place your hands here. So some of you may need to prop yourselves up a little bit from the back and stay here and press your thighs down. Maybe you need to slightly bend or tight. It's okay, right? Wherever you are. I want us to find a place where we're comfortable moving forward. Some of you can put your forearms, let's say, on a block or two. Right? So just find a place where you're comfortable in Utthita. And then just stay here, press your palms down. Now I want to feel my inner thighs moving towards my outer thighs. Hamstrings reaching down, calves and heels pressing down. Chest reaching forward if possible. And then pause here, Utthita. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Thighs pressing down. And slowly coming up. Keep your legs apart. Bring the soles of your feet together, Baddha Konasana. So you want the outer edges of the feet to press together. Take your thumbs and open your feet. And allow your thighs to drop down towards the floor. So the outer edges of the feet press together. The inner edges open up. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach out beyond your toes as you press your shins down. Keep lengthening your spine. So find that length in your lower back. Extend from the lower back. And keep reaching your chest beyond your toes as you root your shins, move your shins towards the floor. Stay here and breathe deeply. So really getting to the hips, the lower back again. The outers of your feet press together. A couple more breaths. And then slowly inhale, come up. Straighten your legs out in front of you, everybody. And sit in Dandasana. Okay. So we're going to start to wind down. All you need is a block. Move everything off to the side. Okay. Now, normally I like to teach an inversion of my class, but we're in a sort of virtual situation. I can't really see everyone. So I'm going to keep it safe and do a supported bridge that can be also a modified shoulder stand. If you don't have a block, you're welcome to let your legs rest on a chair, or you can move to the wall and bring your legs up the wall, okay? So we're just going to lie down first. So let's lie here in a bridge pose. It's perfectly okay. So first, just bend your knees. And then pause. Just feel your lower back release tension. Take a few breaths here. Now I'm taking my block and I'm placing it underneath my pelvis. My sacrum is resting on the block. Pin my shoulders down. So I want to keep this arch here in the lumbar spine. And just for now, if you want, you can just have your hands. And if you want, you can take it a step further and lift your legs up towards the ceiling. Legs straight or slightly bent, if it depends on your hamstrings feel, but keep your shoulders pressing down and the lower back lifting. A few breaths here. Keep your breath smooth. Couple more breaths. You're gonna place your feet on the floor and just pause here for a moment. Just relax. No effort. Just stay here and pause. Okay, now let's take the block away. And your hips come to the floor. So final thing before Shavasana, bring your knees into your chest and just rock from side to side a little bit. So we're going to be doing Utthita Padangusthasana, which is a great way to kind of release the lower back. And our arms will extend to the side. The knees are bent. Your shins are facing the ceiling. Keep your knees bent. Your thighs pressed together. And we're turning from the abdomen, right? So we're using the muscles in our abdomen to move the legs, literally. So Utthita Padangusthasana also means stomach churning pose, okay? So we turn from the abdomen, bring your legs over to the right and come back to center. Legs over to the left, keep your shoulder blades pressing down and come back to center. And then come over to the right again, breathing. Just keep your thighs pressing together. Press to the arms. The arms are going to help give you stability. So press with the back of your shoulders, the back of your arms, back of your hands. Come back to center. Good. And then bring your feet to the floor. Pause. And then just bring your knees all the way over to the right. Let your thighs rest together. If you want, you can place your right hand on top of your left thigh. And then turn and look towards your left shoulder. Come back to center. Change sides. Bring your legs over to the left. Come into a simple twist to the left. Look towards your right shoulder. Deep exhale. Right shoulder presses down. Thighs pressing together. Good, and then come back to center. Knees to your chest once again. So if you have any props you'd like to use for Shavasana, feel free to get them. You're at home. Make yourself at home, right? You can place your legs on top of your blankets if you want, or pillows. I want you to lie here with your palms facing up. Fingers lightly spreading apart. Just stay here and let your shoulders release down towards the floor. Breathing into your upper back and chest. Just letting everything settle. Like there's a sense that you're softening and releasing gradually. Letting go. Quieting down your breath and your thinking and all movement. So I'm going to start to bring your mind into focus. Start to move your fingers and your toes. And then bend your knees and roll to your side and let your head rest on top of your arm. Just stay there for a moment, lying on your side. And when you're ready, slowly rise up to have a seat. Let your hands rest on top of your thighs. And we'll sit for a moment with our eyes closed. So find a Sukhasana and lengthen through the base of your spine once again. And we'll finish our practice with Ujjayi breath. Just slow inhale, pause, holding the breath in your chest for a moment. And then keeping the height in your body as you exhale, releasing, letting the exhalation help you feel rooted and grounded. And again, inhale, slowly inhale through your nose. Expand into the chest and the sides of the ribs. Exhale, slowly release. And then once again, inhale. Exhale, thighs releasing down towards the floor. I'm just going to recite Om. You're welcome to join me if you want. So slowly inhale. On your exhalation, reciting Om once. Namaste. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I look forward to you joining me again for the next class.